Hi everybody. This topic, City and Countryside, Part 5, discusses a comparison living in the countryside and in the city, focusing on comparative and superlative. Check the next slide. First, let me explain about comparative. A comparative is used to compare two things. In this case, I'm going to compare countryside and city. Let's see the positive side of living in a countryside and a city. In the countryside, the air is fresher. The neighbors are more helpful. The life is more peaceful and quiet. The landscapes are more fabulous. The spaces are more open. And then living in the countryside is more relaxed. The lifestyle is healthier. The living cost is cheaper. And it's closer with nature. While living in the city, the access to culture is easier. It provides more job opportunities and more access to entertainment. It has more modern public transport, more conveniences, more housing options, better healthcare, and the lifestyle is more attractive and exciting. Now, move to the negative side of living in a countryside and city. Please pay attention to the bold words showing comparative adjectives. In country life, we've got some words: more relaxing, slower, and harder. In the city life, we've got some comparative adjectives: higher, less secure, more pollution, bigger, more crowded, and faster. Well, which one is better, living in a countryside or city? Look at the examples. Living in a countryside is better than living in a city. Living in a city is better than living in a countryside. Let's learn how to compare people or things using the comparative. The focus of comparative is lebih daripada. There are 3 rules. Rule 1, for short, 1-syllable adjectives or 2-syllable adjectives ending in Y, just add ER to the adjectives. See the examples. For short adjectives or 1-syllable: small, smaller, close, closer, cheap, cheaper, large, larger. And then we also use ER for 2-syllable words: that end in Y. So you need to change Y into I and add it with ER. Example, friendly, friendlier. Other examples, lucky, luckier, happy, happier, easy, easier. Okay. The second rule. For long, 2 or more syllables, adjectives, add more before the adjectives. Examples, interesting, more interesting, famous, more famous, handsome, more handsome, expensive, more expensive, serious, more serious. So remember that the adjectives do not change. And the next rule is using than, daripada. It is to mention both the people or things we are comparing. See the example. Life is quieter in the country than in the city. Okay, is it clear? Well, now we move to irregular forms of adjectives. There are a few adjectives having irregular comparative forms. See the table. Good, better, bad, worse, far, farther, or further, little, less, many or much, more. Alright, let's have some exercises. Change the adjectives in the brackets into the right comparative form. Please do number 1 to number 5. Are you ready? Well, you can start. Okay, have you finished? Now let's check your answers. Number 1, the air in the country is cleaner, but in the city it is more polluted. Number 2, city life is more exciting because there are plenty of things you can do. This is why living in the country can be more boring. And then number 3, cities are bigger than villages and more crowded because more people live there. People in the city may feel lonelier because they don't have time for each other. And number 5, in the country there is less crime, so people feel safer. In the city life, it is more dangerous. Okay, are your answers correct? Yeah, good then. Now let's move to the next topic. Next, I'm going to talk about superlative. Superlative adjectives are used to compare 3 or more nouns. Do you know this place? This is Mount Everest. Mount Everest is the highest mountain in the world. What about this place? This is Caspian Sea. Caspian Sea is the largest lake in the world. And this place is Tokyo. Tokyo has been the most populated city in the world since 2016. Now let's learn how to make superlative sentences. The focus of superlative is paling. And there are some rules. For one-syllable adjectives, we can add est to the adjectives. For example, Jeddah Tower is the highest building in the world. For two-syllable adjectives, we can also add est. Examples: clever, cleverest, happy, happiest, gentle, gentlest, narrow, narrowest. And for more than two syllables, we can use both most before the adjectives. See the examples. They are the most intelligent pupils at school. She's the most beautiful girl that I've ever met. And the last rule is we have to use the before superlative adjectives. Now we've come to the exercise. I need you to guess the answers from number 1 to number 5. Ready? Go. Okay, now let's check your answers. Number 1, Raja Ampat is the most beautiful island I've ever visited. My hometown is the most quiet place I've ever known. Aleppo in Syria is the oldest city in the world. Namsan Tower is the highest building in South Korea. Serayu is the biggest river in Central Java. Well, that's the end of my presentation about comparative and superlative. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.